Hello there, viewers. This is Walk Talk 21, and this video is going to be a little bit more serious than what I'm used to making. And normally I talk about sports and what ifs, but I promised that I would probably never do this. But I want to go into a world event that happened. Now, disclaimer: you can dislike this video. You can, put your dislikes on it and say that I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about if that's what you'd like to do. And if you dislike it, that's fine. It doesn't bother me one bit. So, yesterday in the news, there was a military coup in Zimbabwe that tried to overthrow the president there of 37 years, Robert Mugabe. And I've always wondered this, why does this always seem to be happening in these African nations? And I think it's a very interesting question to ask. Why is Africa the way that it is? I mean, I'm sorry to those people in Zimbabwe for the hardships that they must have suffered for the last 37 years. 95% unemployment. Their debt is so inflated that they don't even have currency because their currencies become so devalued that they have to rely on foreign currency to get around. If you look at Africa and you look at a lot of the countries there, it's always been military dictators that have come into power, then they get overthrown in a coup, then you get another military dictator. Perfect example of this, you look at Chad. Chad has always been a country. You get a military guy that comes into power, then he gets overthrown, then they bring in another military guy. In a lot of these countries, what people don't realize is that the military does the bidding. They're the ones pulling the strings. You're just there to do their work for them. And if you're a good little soldier and you do exactly what they ask you to do, you get to stay in power. The moment you get out of line, like what happened in Zimbabwe, they won't hesitate to kick you to the curb and bring in somebody that can do your job. Perfect example of this. Look at Angola. For 39 years, Jose Eduardo dos Santos ruled over the country of Angola. And he was a general in the military. And he came to power after the original leader died. And for 39 years, the military pulled the strings behind the scenes. They told him what to do and where to go. They said, you pass this law because this is what we want you to do. And the ruling party is very militaristic, the MPLA in Angola. And when Jose Santos said, I'm stepping aside after this, he claims it was old age. It really was he started to not do what the military wanted. And they were going to overthrow the guy. So they said, let's get somebody younger in there who will do the job, because this guy doesn't want to do the job anymore that we ask him to do. Throw him aside, kick him to the curb. Okay, you over there, you're going to do the job. Okay, come here. This is what's happened to Africa. And a weird part of me says that this is their destiny. This is what they're forever bound to do, because they keep overthrowing the rulers, and the rulers are military guys. I asked this question in Zimbabwe, do you really think that your life is going to be much better than what it is now? These people don't care about you. They're going to give you the candidate that they want to give you, not the candidate that you want, because it doesn't matter what you want. They're in control of the country. They're going to give you, instead of having Grace Mugabe run the country, they're going to give you that exiled vice president over there in Zimbabwe because he shares the same ideas as Mugabe. It's who they want. It's what they want you to have. You don't get a say in it, so sorry. Now, a lot of people may say to me, well, there were people that hung on to power for like an incredible 40-something years. And yes, that's true. A lot of these people who've been in power have been there for a long, long time. But all of it, again, is military. As long as you have the military backing you up, you will stay in power. With them, you're on borrowed time. If you don't do what they want, it's, hey, get in line. And if you don't get in line, we'll find someone to replace you. And if you act up and you start purging people, they'll overthrow you, because to them, that's how you run this country. And for the people of Zimbabwe, their vice president they're going to get, he's the same thing as Mugabe. It's going to be another 30-something years because they're giving you what they want you to get. Sure, they may say, oh, well, we're improving the economy, we're, reducing, we're getting rid of the 95% unemployment rate. But to them, it'll just be, hey, you do our bidding for us. You be a nice little soldier. You be our spokesperson. You tell us exactly what we say. And if you do your job, you can stay in power. And if you don't, off to the curb with you. We'll just throw you aside and replace you. And, I'll give you another example of that. Central African Republic. They had this guy in there, Jean Bedel Bokassa. And Jean Bedel Bokassa was a military general, came into power after a coup that overthrew David Dacko. And this guy ruled the country for, I think, 17 years. At one point, he was so crazy, he even changed the country's name to the Central African Empire. And he was overthrown in a coup because the people lost faith in him and he had gone really insane and he wasn't doing what the military wanted, so they moved in. They replaced him with David Dacko again. And then David Dacko got overthrown by somebody else because they lost faith in him. You look at Zaire, Mobutu Sese Seko ruled that place for, I think, 37 years. Once the military lost faith in him, he was pushed aside for this Laurent Kabila, and then Pierre Laurent Kabila or whatever. And then when he lost control, the military replaced him with his son. This is what seems to be happening in a lot of these African nations. Military comes into power, and the same thing. They keep throwing people out. They keep exiling people. And I just wonder, what you people think. I mean, can Africa be saved? Is this their eternal destiny to always be this way? Because you don't see this happening in America, Canada, France, Germany, Mexico. You don't even see this happening anymore in South America. Yet you get coups like crazy in Africa. Why? Why is Africa the only country that this happens in? And again, folks, I'm trying to be serious with this. I'm legitimately trying. If you don't like this video, again, you can dislike it. You can say whatever you want to me. But, I feel bad for the people in Zimbabwe that they think that the military is actually going to give them a leader that they can be part of. No, they're not. They're going to give them another exiled opposition candidate who has the same views as Mugabe did. And the same thing's going to happen all over again, just different face running the place. And if he doesn't do what they want, they'll throw him to the curb and bring in somebody else. So be sure to subscribe to Walk Talk 21 for more great videos every single day. This is one I tried to be serious on. I will make another sports video after this. The next one up is I'm going to be talking about Tampa Bay and why I think the Tampa Bay Rays should move and where I think they should move to and their current stadium situation. Then I'm going to go back to the MLB Time Capsule, which will be focusing on the 1908 World Series. So that's what's coming down the road. Thanks, everybody. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all around.